So Donnie O'Dell proves his value by referencing another colony. And so off they go to find it. So Brenda comes to Riker's quarters, and...
You've shown me so many wonders on your great ship. But there's still one thing you haven't shown me.
What's that?
I'm still waiting to wash my feet.
Oh, I'm still waiting to wash my feet, but I've completely changed my outfit anyway. Also, I am sitting here shaking my head at her crop top cable knit sweater. How often have you been in a position where you say to yourself, gee, my boobs and my arms are freezing, but my midriff just is so hot I can't stand to cover it?
All the time.
Oh, is there a special technique to this foot washing?
You generally start at the top and work your way down.
This seems unwise at best.
You know, given how marriage-centered this society has proven itself already from the beginning, maybe screwing a woman without marrying her will ruin her in her society. Did you ever think about that? Maybe this is her way of proposing marriage to you.
You see, lad, every moment of pleasure in life has to be purchased by an equal moment of pain.
And Don O'Dell and Worf decide to compare boozes. Sadly, this is still not the low point of the episode by a long shot. No, not even that stupid Mr. Bean face is anywhere near the low point of this episode. It's bottom of the barrel for a reason. Now we're getting there because now we're getting from stupid, we're starting to get to offensive. They find the technologically advanced society, named
Mariposa.
The Spanish word for butterfly.
Irrelevant!
Troy senses that they're hiding something.
We'll check it out. Mr. Worf, Dr. Pulaski, join us in Transporter Room 3 for an away detail.
Wow, Counselor. 2 for 2 for relevant information. That's a new one for you. Nicely done.
Your arrival really is serendipitous.
Oh, how so?
Well, perhaps I'll let the Prime Minister explain that.
Then why did you bring it up?
Triplets? Or if there is something damn odd going on here.
Man, that expression on her face. Is she going to join in some paperwork or a sapphic orgy?
Is there some medical problem we should know about?
I think it best if the,
Prime Minister explains that.
Then shut up about it and she won't bother you! How hard is this?
And Dr. Pulaski soon figures out that they're all clones.
Welcome to Mariposa.
The Spanish word for butterfly.
Irrelevant! Irrelevant!
Tell me, is your entire population made up of clones, Prime Minister?
Clones. Clones?
Clones.
Clones?
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 Clones? It turns out this colony had a disaster right when they were first starting out, and they only had 5 people. So they were forced to clone themselves to have a viable colony. And now their clone templates are fading, and they need new genetic samples so they can have new blood in their colony.
Well, how did you suppress the natural sexual drive? Drugs? Punitive laws?
In the beginning, a little bit of each. Now, after 300 years, the entire concept of sexual reproduction is a little repugnant to us.
No, that's Lamarckianism. Sexual drive is not a directly heritable trait. That's like saying I could dye my hair and pass that new color down to my kid. My personal attitudes are not encoded in my ovaries.
I was hoping that you would be willing to share some tissue samples.
You want to clone us?
Well, Riker and Pulaski, and apparently Picard, are all against it vehemently. It's a good thing no one on Voyager had that attitude, apparently.
One William Riker is unique, perhaps even special. But 100 of him, 1,000 of him, diminishes me in ways I can't even imagine.
So what you're literally saying, Riker, is the more people there are that share your DNA, the less worth each of you individually has. You know, this is relatively minor compared to everything else we're going to get into in this episode, but I find this pretty damn offensive. I have identical twin brothers, and according to Riker, they're just not as special as people who are born singly. They're just not quite as individual and great. Tell you what, Riker, How about you go tell my sister-in-law that the person she married isn't really his own person, just kind of a cheap Kmart knockoff of his slightly older brother. Good luck with that!
And Picard won't even ask the rest of the crew, assuming that they all have the same exact attitude. Let me ask, and this is serious now, in this utopian Federation society, is there that little diversity that everyone has the exact same attitude about everything?
Even the aliens?
And no, this is still not the most offensive part.
Will you at least send some people to repair our malfunctioning equipment?
Yes, of course.
By the way, we're not even going to get into this, but no one's bringing up the Prime Directive, and these are two societies that don't have warp travel. Explain this. No, wait, don't, because then you would, and I just want to hit you.
With your permission, I would like to return to the planet. It could be my last opportunity to study replicative fading. With your permission, of course, Mr. Prime Minister.
I just want to study your slow, colony-wide death. Watching things struggle helplessly amuses me.
While they're down there, Riker and Pulaski are stunned and sampled. Geordi shows up, and with an ability he's never shown before and will never show again, is able to pick up that everyone's lying to him about their whereabouts.
Geordi is Daredevil, apparently.
When Geordi tells him about this, Pulaski scans them and finds out, sure enough, they've been sampled and valuable stomach cells have been taken from them. And to make things nice and quick, for the first time this episode,
Send in the clones.
Star Trek, the Margaret Sanger generation. You know, I wonder how different this would have been if instead of these weird zombie-looking things, if Riker had just obliterated babies, or even fetuses for that matter. There's a reason this is a debate. This is approaching the most offensive part. I'm not bothered that they took this position. That's pretty standard leftist. I'm bothered that they act like there's no debate here to have at all. Yes, they were violated, but you know what? The people they killed are not the ones that violated them. And as Odo said so well,
Killing your own clone is still murder.
and no one's even acting like this is murder. Well, except
Murderers!
Like hell, you're a damn thief!
Comfortable, easy euphemism. Property.
And if you really want to carry this analogy for abortion forward, then Pulaski and Riker here aren't so much analogous to the woman as the man in the situation.
that's true. They're not the ones carrying it. They're not the ones responsible. They didn't even know they'd been violated at first. This is like a man going to a pregnant woman after he's been violated and wire-hangering her.
Yeah, it's wrong that she did that to him, but this doesn't exactly make it right.
Except for them, of course, and they're all that matters.
We asked for your help and you refused us. We're desperate. Desperate!
And that gave you the right to assault us, to rob us, and...
We have the right to survive!
You want to know what's really sad? And I never thought I'd say this about Next Generation. Enterprise handled this issue better than you.
What you can't have, you take by force. Why are you doing this? Because I have no choice.
Ponder this. So they discuss the issue and decide to ruin both colonies by forcing them together against their will.
Cloning isn't the answer. What they need is breeding stock.
It is not for you to set the standards by which we should be judged.
Oh, but it is. And we have.
Bring Lloyd.
It's a match made in heaven.
Unfortunately, it will have to be a shotgun wedding.
This is not funny!
Oh, forget it, Captain Picard. I'm not gonna come in here with my hat in my hand, begging charity from this blatherskite. Now stop!
Stop taking pride in yourselves. You're poor after all. And so Picard uses the technology they gave to the colony to help them to blackmail them into following their plan.
Let's not mince words here. This is sexual extortion. You will sleep with the people we tell you to sleep with, or we will take away your means of sustenance. This is exactly like a boss making his secretary get in his bed to keep her job.
No, it's not. Because the secretary doesn't have to also carry his children. It's worse. Now we're getting into the worst part of this show. You know, pointing out the futility of not going along with this and saying that they'll die out, that I can see. But you know what? They have a right to decide to die out. and you're not acting like they have a right to, you're basically forcing them by blackmailing them with your technology. This is evil!
They're so different.
It is the differences that has made us strong.
And so, using logic, they actually considered joining, saying this could be difficult, but it might be worth it to keep our society going. And then Pulaski has to step up again and say that the Irish people can't have their traditional marriages anymore. They have to have group marriages in order to be able to breed right.
So it would be best if each woman had at least 3 children by 3 different men.
I think I could handle that, yes.
So, Kim, want to have a baby with this guy? 'Cause you're gonna! That's right. Star Trek, proponent of the rape culture.
What are you going to do with the ones that are not interested in becoming mothers? I guess there's just no damn choice. You have to.
You know, for that matter, not every man wants to be a father either. And now a list of legitimate reasons why this might not work for people.
Right, well, now let's go and stake out my 3 women. Send in the clones.
You know, that pun was awful, but at this point I'm just numb.
I have no more rage to expend.
Brenna Odell learns about this plan, and she objects, strenuously. And I'm with her.
If you wish, you can stay on the Enterprise. We will drop you off at a star base.
Let's be honest, how much of a choice is this really? We'll drop you at the nearest star base, in a society where you have no idea how to make a living or even function normally.
Well, she's a heinous shrew who I'd never want to spend time with, but she has a point. You know, maybe I was a little wrong about Brenna. Maybe she's not a bad person after all. Maybe she's just strong-minded and opinionated and...
What does he do again?
Prime Minister.
Sounds important.
Oh, it is.
Sounds like you might have more than 2 coins to rub together.
Oh, never mind. She's a terrible person, too. Can we just get out of here now? Oh, do I even need to say what's wrong with this episode? We've covered it well. It's at its best when it's stupid and offensive to the Irish alone. Then later on it gets offensive to the humans watching. Now you know why I call this the bottom of the barrel for TNG. Others have different opinions, that's fine. But as usual, decide for yourselves. I'm calling this one POS TNG. Oh, and just like Donnie said,
Every moment of pleasure in life has to be purchased by an equal moment of pain.
I've paid. I'm going for something good. Next time, the top 10 Deep Space Nine episodes.
YouTube gave this a ban, so Matt and I hatched a plan. The end credits we would edit just because we can. Instead, here's a new song.
Toys for Boys.
So the credits go
My
on.
boy Shaska.
It's public domain. You can't complain. Who can't be happy with that? What's the deal with saying we steal? It's fair use. We'll give them their dues. If it's so bad, you block our reviews. Why link up with iTunes?
You make your money there.
So if you're hearing this song, YouTube claimed we done wrong. The song title is still vital, right near the end. You'll see what could have been
It was fun.
if we just talked like friends.
For no one.
Instead of discussion, you went for expulsion. That's why this tune has gone on. What more can I say? YouTube gets their way. The old music, we won't use it. Copyright wins. They prevent their loss. We repost past toss. No copyrighting means no more fighting. I hope you enjoyed what was banned.
Windows Vista, which kind of splits the middle. Says the guy who's proud he just got a Vista computer. Drag kicking and screaming into the early 2000s.